Hi, today we are going to solve Educational Codeforces round 190, problem A. In this problem, there are n students and they want to buy, each one of them wants to buy an online course. Now, there are two ways to buy that online course. First one is the individual key, which costs $8 and it gives access to all student. And the second one is group key. It costs $B and it's a package. So 3 students can have it for $B. But a group key can also be used for fewer students. Let's say if you are only one student, you can also buy a course using the group key. Now your task is to find the minimum amount of money you need to provide access to all students. Here's the constraints. How do you solve it? Let's see. Let's say these are the students. Student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say we have 6 students. Now, from that problem, what do we know? We can buy this one student the course which costs A units for one student, or we can buy course for all 3 students for B units. So B units for 3 students. Now, let's say we are able to group all the students in the groups of 3, these 3 and these 3. What would be the optimal case? Taking A or taking B? If we take A, we are going to, for one group, for providing course for this group, we are going to spend a cost of 3A. And if we are going to buy one course for 3 groups, three people as a group key, then we are going to cost, it's going to cost B units for 3 students. Now, it's easy to see that if 3A is less than B, if 3A is less than B, then it's optimal to, it's best to provide each of the students a single or individual course instead of buying all 3 students the course which costs B. Because for 3A, we're replacing the 3A, we're using this 3A as a substitute for this B to provide the 3 students. So for 3 students, we could use B unit. We could cost B unit, oh, but since we have an option that if we buy 3 individual courses, which together is 3A, will cost less than B units, then it's basically the right choice that we buy each student, you know, we buy each student individual course separately instead of together. Now, if that's the case, you can we can actually, for these three students, we are going to cost, it's going to cost 3a. For these three students, it's going to cost 3a when when 3a is less than b. Otherwise, otherwise, we are going to buy these three students the group course which costs b, and these three students the group course which costs b. So we buy each three students the group course. This what will happen when when 3a is greater than b. Yeah. Now, what happens when we can't? There are some students left, one or two students left. What will happen then? Let's say, let's take an example where we have 8 students. So for 8 students, we can't actually group them perfectly by 3. So this is a it's a blank. So but still for this part, for this portion of the students, we can still use the same reasoning that when this happens, then we give 3a to each of them, and otherwise b. This same logic applies here too. And for the rest of the students, this let's denote it as n prime. So if our n was 8, then n prime was basically what? N mod 3, that is 2. So or n prime. So it's always the case that n prime is less than 3. N prime is either 1 or either 2. So for them, actually, we still could buy a 3 people course worth of the units, or we could actually buy them each of them individual course worth 2a in total. So we have to compare between these two, uh, which one is greater, and we'll add it up to our answer. So for n prime, we actually need to add minimum of uh, n prime into a or b, right? And for the part till we group by 3, this part, we actually, let's say we have, what is it? We have n minus n mod 3. This part is n minus n mod 3. So for this part, we actually compare and multiply. If this one is smaller, then actually it's this, right? This. Or we could say n by 3. So for this n by 3 groups, if 3a is smaller, we multiply 3a. If b is smaller, then we multiply b. So let's look at that's our whole solution. We calculate for this part, and we calculate for the remaining part, and we add them together. That's our minimum possible answer. Let's look at the code. See here, our initial result is 0, then our m m is m m is basically, you know, this part. I mean, m is basically this part. So here m will be how many groups, how many group we can group by 3, how many 3 blocks into 3. So there are total of m, which actually there are total of m students which can be grouped by 3. So if this, if 3a is less than b, we can assign them courses individually. So result will be m into a. So for all the m students in the group in the first part, we are they all of them, each of them costs a units, or each of either each of the students in this part costs a units, or each of the students each of the groups costs b units. So we basically took the minimum of them. Then we subtracted this m from n, which is basically this part or remainder, and yeah, we compared that if n if the remaining part into a is less than b, then we assign each of them individually, or otherwise we add the group cost. So that's all. That's the result. Hope you enjoyed. In the next video, we are going to discuss problem B. Okay, so see you until next time.